Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you did in the world. This na VOS coming to now from the United States, Canada, and Britain or England. Um, so we today na June 1st, 2025. Today's Sunday, and we are happy to be back. We skipped last week because of some bereavement in we executive uh, group. So, as a matter of paying respect to the bereaved, we felt it would have been reasonable for us for we just not do it last week. So, if we now want to know which are the reason we were not on the air last week. So we're back as usual. Would they expect vigorous participation by our listeners then? Would they expect everybody for comply with the standing rules of engagement? And again, that I'm not going to go over because we all know the one that would listen to we from time to time. We know all it takes. We don't mind for you for call and disagree with a previous caller or the presenters of this show. It's okay, but we just want let it be done in a respectful manner. That there is not going to be any act of disrespect or hostile attitude towards the caller or the host. Let's try to be civil because in that way we can get reasonable exchanges from which we hopefully go be smarter or learn something at the end of the show than we knew when we came on board. So the rules are very simple. So let me go directly to the various numbers then. For the one that we use for call we, but they probably they not get this information at hand. And the one that we maybe when I knew you listen to we and you want to call in because we also encourage people them. This is an interactive show, meaning it is live. You know, it is so because it is live, you can call in. So the numbers them we present on the screen and we're going to announce just now. And you can send in written comments and then you can participate as the show progresses. So because of that, we give the numbers here all the time so people will be able to participate and see if they get any question for present. Now, again, this is the viewers network. So calling from North America, we say the number, what would they refer to as a toll-free number, meaning a number where you not get for pay for, where you make the call, even if you're on hold. It would be 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. And then, so if you look, that is if you call from the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So if you call from the United Kingdom, then you will call plus 44 2080891455. Again, calling from the UK, it will be plus 44 2080891455. If you call from Australia, free, you will call plus 61 2909843337. From Australia, plus 61 2909843337. Then you also can call now the WhatsApp number. We give you a wider range, give you apps almost without any limitation. You can call from anywhere in the world. Then that will be 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. We also get what you call the VOS radio in Freetown, which is 91.9 FM. 91.9 FM. And so if you can't access them, try for go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for download the VOS app, and that will enable you from the United States or from wherever you may be to be able to access the radio station in Freetown, as far as we know, with the app. But particularly if you try for access them without the app at 91.9, you may end up with a different station. So we encourage you now for do that. Also, I just talked about the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. So we're also carried on YouTube. So if you want for catch we on YouTube and the carry we on there, so you are free to follow we on that site today. Then you get the other medium then we carry like on X, when I be formerly Twitter. You will go on VOS television. If you want to reach me on Twitter, you can go on Facebook on VOS television. You can go on YouTube. If you forgo, just you can catch one on YouTube. Just go on VOS television. So for YouTube, Facebook, X, there you go on YouTube. You go on VOS television for YouTube, Facebook, and X. On VOS television, you can able to catch it. Then the site, of course, VOS TV website, it will be vostelevision.com. If you go on vostelevision.com, you will be able to access it. You also can able to get the radio on the website at vosradio.com. vosradio.com. Then, of course, like I said, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, you for be able for reach we. The last but not least, you should be able for reach we on Twitch TV. Also, you go on VOS television, you should be able for reach we. And we also have the VOS Diaspora Helping Hand non-profit organization, where towards the end of it, we'll go the control room go present to the audience the progress we would make. Now this Diaspora Helping Hand non-profit activity, and see what we're doing, which are the purpose, and how we've been able to help people and encourage people for please reach out to see how much helping hand I can give. All right. So again, those who know me, my name is Mohammed Shyllon, and I get a co-host, Mr. Victor Mengot, who I know very well. We go. Who needs no introduction, but he go introduce himself to now, and it's the two of us on board today making the presentation. And Mr. Jamboria, who occasionally can join we, is not going to appear today. So let me just allow Mr. Mengot for introducing himself, and then we'll go tell you now watching now the topics that we want to deal with today. So to you, Mr. Mengot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shyllon. Family, in a good evening, in a good day, whatever time you're there, with people in North America, with people in Australia, with people on the continent of Europe, and more importantly, with people in a salon, because we hope saying that we're able to watch radio. As usual, today I can't join me co-host, Mr. Shyllon. We can look at something very, very interesting. I could just give a prelude that will give details of what will happen. Because normally we talk about social media trends then. what you mean by social media trends and thing the way they make the use, as we say in a Creole, thing the way people and they talk about. But this time today we go and look at local government. And also we look at local government and we look at other things the way they happen in other parts of Africa and what's similar to what would they try for it. So I go passing over to Mr. Shyllon for let introduce the topic because the topic will cover history, it will cover law, it will talk about reform, it will talk about culture and traditions and things that we would inherit from our colonial past. Over to you, sir.
All right. Well, today, what you want for talk about? Now, as usual, or as sometimes we can deal with quite a bit, now governance, transparency, we're always, well, in every country, governance, and I think you for the country for steadily maintain, whether the governance and from the local area all the way to the central government. So because like back home, governance starts with the chiefdoms, with the villages, with the districts, and then voting districts, then with the actual district geographically, and then we go all the way to cities and then the central government. So I think we will touch on all them bases today as we talk. And then we will talk particularly about Freetown Municipality. We will talk about the historical background, how we became a municipality and with colonial legacy. We will also talk about the provincial ordinance of 1960. We will talk about the legal perspective, and then we will talk about designation of district, chiefdoms, and municipalities. And I think if we get time, we will deal with the Local Government Act that I am one of, might be the major critic of that act today. And then we will talk about the Provincial Act or the Provinces Act, So then we will talk about national planning and land use. So these are some of the topics that we'll touch on. So I think number one on our agenda, we want to talk about the historical perspective, the colonial legacy. Legacy mean what left for what we inherit upon which we govern ourselves today. So my colleague will start with that. And then let me also announce that the lines are open as we proceed. If you get any question, please don't hesitate to call, but just bear in mind that there may be a caller before you, so be patient. Just in case you are placed on hold, we will try to do our best try to reach everyone with a call. And of course, we get a 3-minute rule. The 3-minute rule meaning you can only talk for as long as 3 minutes. Then the 15 seconds after the 3 minutes, the boss will go on for tell you your time is up, for stop talking. And if you want for continue, you can just get back in the queue or call back. There may be a queue, there may not be a queue, but call back. And then you can continue what you get in mind. I always encourage people say, before you call, organize your thoughts. If I were anyone calling, I go organize my thoughts. Probably since you get 3 minutes, maybe just utilize 30 seconds of every question you might have to any topic where you want to talk about, so you will be able to cover as much of what you have in mind. But if you spend, because we don't get instances where people can call, then first they give their own opinion about what has just been said. Then then give their own comments. But by the time they ask question now, their time is up. Some of them not by able finish waiting and get in mind. So I just say put you thought on paper, and then before you call, so that way you be able to cover as much because it's up to you. You will not get control over it. When your machine is programmed for cut you off, if you're still talking 1 to 3 minutes, 15 seconds are up. So with that said, we're going back to Mr. Mengot, and then we'll take it from there. To you, Mr. Mengot.
Well, family, I don't come back. And we always talk about governance. What's in a governance? Governance that anything for do with how the rulers and the rule, then they interact. The rulers and the ruled. When I mean the rulers, in this case, we start from central government, when our president and we ministers them, and all people the way they act on their behalf. We talk about local governments, then when our paramount chiefs them, we chiefdom speakers them, we town chiefs and everything. In any system, there should be rule. And for understand what in the happen at Shyllon dialect today, we get for know who come out. As we famous Creole person can say, this program today now for let in a Kapu sense, not for Kapu word. We not get monopoly to knowledge. We want learn a land from we self one land from it now. So how do we get where we are today? We all know say Shyllon na be a British colony. What you mean in a British colony? It means say we were ruled by the British. And when we were ruled by the British before independence, we'll get in 1961, the head of state for Shyllon, now be the Queen of England. Nana the number one. Him be represented by the Governor General. So, waiting be happen like Shyllon be very important because it be unique. We talk about, we topic today na divide and rule. A dive into history. Waiting at divide and rule. We been get this famous British Governor General because Shyllon was part of British West Africa. And between 1808 and 1874, Freetown, nine have been the capital of British West Africa. When Ghana, Nigeria, Gambia, and Shyllon. So the British them, they use this system for divide and rule because not to all sides and where we go. So inside the way they devolve power. Like Shyllon now, we were unique. We then divide Shyllon into two. You get the colony and the protectorate. What's in a colony? Colony means a crown colony means in the laws of the queen nine supersede everything. That makes so most of them tell and they we get what you call ordinance. Then we get the protectorate, the protectorate assembly, we get the protectorate way, and the rest of Shyllon. So for let people know what you mean by colony and protectorate, we get land mass. We get division both in land and sea for sure who sign a colony and who sign a protectorate. What's the difference? The colony, now who sign a present day Freetown, because Freetown is almost a peninsula, where stretch go far as boundary of Songo. And so interesting now today, Songo na day one of the toll bridge day. Where you reach Songo, part of Songo, na Koya district, the other part na Freetown. So na day the boundary been there. So this part we call Freetown, the municipality of Freetown, down there, then we get a different form of administration. We're a direct administration. So Freetown now, when Shyllon become a colony of 1808, right? Freetown become the capital city. And in fact, there was a time self, I said Mr. Shyllon will attest to this fact, where it be necessary self say if they move from provinces or to Freetown, sometime in there where you go need pass safe under certain restrictions by the colonial master. So Freetown not always get a system which similar to which we get in England in terms of governance. Where you get the mayor of Freetown, when at the head of administration, You get the Freetown Municipality, when are 9 at the current day Freetown City Council. You get people that when they vote for as councillors, right? And then councillors, they represent wards them. We're still there. And before the councillors, them, you get senior councillors, they will call alderman. A famous alderman of the Fataraman, where they name a school after, and like a senior councillor. Then the councillor and they decide who then the mayor. But then they don't change now. Now they get direct election for mayor. And we then change the act recently, even mayor self get running mate. I think so this running mate business will move on from president to mayor. Me not see the use for that. So Freetown will get your own administration separate from the provinces. And now look how Freetown grew because for like big city. According to details of the population census, in 1974, you had about roughly 280,000 people in Freetown. Then the next census after that, we will do under an I think they will say just over 1 million people. Then the last census we then do, when I'm in the midterm census, we can get 1,347,559. So it grow as a city. And later on, we don't divide Freetown now into Western rural and Western urban. We now go to the provinces. The provinces now, we can divide the provinces. What we get now this ordinance by the British government, where they call the provinces ordinance. What's in an ordinance? Ordinance are like a law, a local law. And that ordinance they consolidate and amend the law which determine how the British them in the rule the provinces. So now make sure that they left that system there before independence. Where now when they talk about region, we get 3 provinces them. We get Northern Province, where you get district there where na Bombali, Koinadugu, Butloko, Cambia, and Tokolili. Then you get Southern Province, where na Boye, Moyamba, Bong. Then you get Eastern Province, where na Kenema, Kailaung, and Kono. Now that will be no. So under them province and then you get districts. So that ordinance then I established the 12 districts. Now the provinces them. So the hierarchy of laws and administration is start from the lower level, right? When a township. From there now, we go to chiefdom, we get paramount chief, then you go to district. So waiting the British been get at they get provincial commissioner, then province and the way they represent the governor. Then under the provincial commissioner, you get the district commissioner. The district commissioner now, then they manage the activities of the chief themselves. Where each chiefdom get a paramount chief. So now then they left doing. So that system they will get their independence. And we don't do that system there for long. Until change the changes. Now the same way, first time when they out that system there, 2 changes come. Because when they come, we begin to talk about constituency. First time when they talk about constituency, we get Boye West, Boye Central, Boye East, Boye North. The same with all these districts like Freetown. We first of all change them to constituency with number 007, 021, or whatever. Then also now we know they call them provinces again, they call them regions. Right? We get Western region, we have Freetown Municipality, and the rural Freetown. And when you talk about Freetown and Tenende, we get the municipality of Freetown, they'll get 3 areas them for electoral districts them. When a York, Waterloo, and Mount Rural. So that was the system. So the first time we get that changes there. Now when we get a census in 2015, where the former government come, they introduced 2 new districts. Now the north. So we can get north and northwest. Then divide them. So we get Karine and Falaba. But there are process for introducing district and they we'll talk about that later. Then, which means now, within 2 districts then we can get 12 plus 2 now 14 districts now the rest of Freetown, now the rest of the country. So how do you administer that? Then we been get the local government act we'll talk about because and anything you get forget a legal basis. And then I go day now we can discuss this recent announcement where the new government now come. They say they don't go cabinet. Then they introduce 2 more districts, and the one the way we don't get. We're in a Bandajuma and Panguma. One at the east, one at the south. So we get beaucoup beberebe ala ala. Some there for it, some not there for it. So one talk about them processes there. One talk about the local government. So far, that is the introduction. And let's see if my colleague can throw some light into this provincial administration. Because under the Provinces Act, now that's telling that the first time in 1960 when they abolished slavery, now the rest of the province. Now that's telling they introduced the hot tax formally. Because remember I said that hot tax they when they introduce them, by Boye be revolt. Now make so when they sing in our school, by Boye was the warrior. He fought against the British. Now we know what thing happen. So the British introduced that and they no say then they go. Now wait for tax the people them for use that money there now for administer the provinces. Then they allow the chiefs then now for raise various revenue to them finds the way they're not gonna cut. Like someone popular find that I call name business. Boku na timini like. What he call name mean? It means say where you go tamper pampa somebody human, they go call your name, then they go to the chief. Then can you go they able to catch you, then get that way, then call Ankui, where then they lock you up. Then the tax the way they pay for interference or call a human breaking and entering, all they go to the chief. So the chief will get various revenue them. So that's the way for fund the provincial administration until we get today. So I don't get into the history and the background. And my colleague can comment on that before we go to the new announcement here where they make and waiting at the legal basis behind that. Over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mengot. Now, you know, there are certain things like Mr. Mengot will give you some background, and we still not deviate from who practices them, where, in my humble opinion, are unproductive or counterproductive. First, we are fascinated by this name, just changing names for the fun of it, with no difference in, with the name adding no substance to the name change. You remember how Mr. Mango talked about district commissioners, you know, when they divide the protectorate and get 3 provinces, you know, north, south, and east. Then, of course, you get provinces and they get districts. Then there were district commissioners, and then they get provincial commissioners who were like the supervisors for the district commissioners. Or the provincial commissioners were the ones, then I'd be the one where the district commissioners and the report to. So, and the name was generally accepted. We'll not be seeing anything wrong with them. But again, we bookman them. Figure say the name of officer, district officer, sound better than district commissioner. To me, the name commissioner or the word commissioner, if you have to define it, it sounds more authoritative. It implies or it connotes more authority than the word officer. So why in the world, in the life of me, some bookman then just decide to say, oh, this is commissioner not good enough. And I always ask one question. Somebody need for come that will show or write an article telling us why like the name from district commissioner to district officer was necessary. With all the changes, then the improvement what we need. How does that help us in terms of improvement or progressiveness? You know? So we change name there now. Instead of beginning for call the place provinces, where I see nothing wrong with those names, then change them to regions. So this is switching the bookman and bring to we. And the reason we make the point then here out, if people can only take the time and when they go university, then specialize or then get a degree in their areas here, because you can get a degree in government. Okay, you can get degree in town planning. I mean, there are things when they teach in the universities that okay make a substantial difference. What will not they do? So you could get somebody where sometimes an accountant or an engineer, they make a minister of interior, they not get no education in local government or government period. Then he wants to say in left a footprint. He say, okay, let's change the name from city to paradise. You know, so these are some of the things that I keep objecting to. We're not to take government business serious. If we do, we will come up with serious changes then, not to cosmetic changes them. You know, so then this constituency thing, then they'll complicate until they begin to call the constituencies then now by ward. I mean by numbers. You know, giving them numbers. So we are not in the business of simplifying things. We're in the business of compounding and complicating things, making things then so complex. Why I do not know. One will make it simpler, you know. But all this is a prelude to the latest information we will get about this proposal about trying to get two more cities. I mean, two more districts. Again, I think they owe it to the country. It is not right. First of all, again, the way they structure our constitutional system is so defective. It's so short-sighted. I mean, it hard to give praise to the people and waste to them and put that document together. Because you cannot say that a cabinet, first of all, we don't even see the significance of a cabinet in making national decision. A cabinet, now like where you get private enterprise, you say management. Okay, cabinet is part of a team of the president, the president and team who want to sit down and hang it together. So this phrase, cabinet meet, cabinet this and that, is meaningless. Because anything what the cabinet come up with, now the president in idea or in agreement or in suggestion or in direction. So instead of saying, oh, we're going to cabinet, will cabinet agree? Just say the president. Because cabinet, under no circumstance will cabinet come up with anything where the president agree with. No, under any circumstance, cabinet will even dare for come up with anything where not to the president come up with the idea or agree to the idea. So this is all deceptive practices. We therefore be serious, But how can we draw a constitution whereby we give all that power to the president and the cabinet? So at any given time, a president and cabinet can just decide, forget districts. And of course, then we get parliament down the line, but then the president, then they come up with the proposal for a new district, and then when they don't agree, it's just a matter for parliament for rubber stamp and for become law. I mean, it looks to me that for make such fundamental change, we would add districts. And besides, logic dictates we get 12 districts. We have no evidence that when the white people left them 12 districts we improve the efficiency or we make the system more efficient. The 12 districts will make them so efficient that we can even do better if we add 2 more, which was added by APC. Because Lupo said that should be the only reason behind increasing, the only good faith reason, let me put that, because you can get any kind of reason. But it would seem to me Now the APC then decides say they want to add 2 districts. Therefore, they should have been on a duty to explain to the country, why 2 more districts were necessary and how the existing number of districts were an obstruction or impediment to a smooth running of the country, particularly the 2 areas that were established at the north. I mean, the government should have been able or should have been required by law, which did not exist, then give the power to the president for, say, just add districts. Okay, now it seems like they get us saying, monkey see, monkey do. So now, say people say, we should go add 2 districts. What are the reasoning behind it? How good is it for the country? Why the number of districts are now no sufficient? The only reason will be because APC do SLPP do one. You see? And because anybody will understand the existence of a district as they are, you therefore create a whole bureaucracy, meaning you therefore create a district center, like Boye, you get Boye town, Boye district. Kalao, you get Kalao town, and so on, like Kono, you get Kodu. So then so now you get for set up a district headquarters, where I call district center. So if we open 2 more districts, now we get for appoint district officers, the district officer and the assistants. You get for set up headquarters. We take a lot of other expenditure that we don't need at this point in time. Plus, looking at the reason, looking at the evidence for, say, the existing district then at the south and the east. And then this new geographic description. Because in your school days, we get Western area, Northern Province, Eastern Province, Southern Province. Now again, we've got to so fancy the Southeast. What's the need of the South? And then add East to that. Eastern and Eastern. But you see, these are some of the things that we would come up with, waste so much time. Southeast not be exist during your school days. The phrase Southeast not be exist at all, that I know of. Then all of a sudden now, Eastern Province is not good enough. Now they call it Southeast. Okay? We will be serious, for come up with some serious substantive changes for the good of the country. So please, again, government officers, cabinet, when I owe it to the duty, to the country and the people, come on some of them shows there, tell we why 2 new provinces are needed. And what are the plans on the ground for bring them provinces up to par? And how big is the population for them 2 provinces they are? Because the Anguma district, which is currently under Kenema district, and Panguma is neighboring to Tongofield. So is Tongofield going to be part? It looks like Tongofield will be part of Panguma district. But why is that area a district? Where from Panguma to Tongofield, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 30 miles. So these are some of the things, they were brothers and sisters, they would come up with an idea. They not to think of the good of the country. Just like I oppose the jury system in the legal profession, what we don't get for over 100 years, you get some bookman that will just kind of change them. And I guarantee you, them bookman and they will change that jury system there. I would like for letting challenge me, the architect of that rule, that law that will change. How many of them have tried have had jury trial? At least 10 jury trial. The one that will come up with that change, they will say jury trial not good. The one that will come up with the law. Please tell me, challenge me, say you've tried 10 cases before a jury. I'm just being nice. 10. Just say 10. Because that should give you some basis for you for things, say, jury trial is what being replaced. But we are hurting the country. And this local short-sighted politics we would do, would make it, this is bad thing we would left for posterity, you know? But I mean, those are my comments. And I want people to oppose me. I want people to disagree with me. If you think I'm wrong, try for convince me and the listeners then for say, oh, we're good actors. We're acting in good faith. We need a way APC come up with 2 districts than at the north. I am convinced they were not acting in good faith. They were just trying to get undue advantage over the opposition. Now the opposition is trying to do the same thing. And the end result, now the country, now they pay the price. Because we are not looking out for the country, we're just looking out for the present moment. So it's all politics, not economics, not progress. So that said, let me turn it over to me co-host, let not dominate, because I can make this a monologue and go on and on and on.
Okay, sir. Let's not keep the people in the dark, because you touch on which I want to start now on this system. Waiting at this announcement with they make. We see the town hall meeting with them get the Moyamba, the Ministry of Civic Education or Information been did it. Now we Minister of Local Government, we will talk about that, particularly how that they come into being and the importance of that ministry today. And the minister, we say cabinet don't meet, they agree for there we get 2 more districts, Kanguma in the east, and the other one at the south, Bandajuma. Not only that, you know, it go further.
This is not even judged, but in the big beautiful bill, the custom
It said again, for be divided into 2 cities. And as I tell you now, by population size, Freetown currently is about 1,350 people. When you talk about cities, even in Africa, there's a small number for every 1 city. The only thing about the landmass is very congested. So instead of we trying for improvement, they say 1, 2 cities. Wait till not tell you who side then 2 cities they are good there. They also tell we say Lungese for become city. And we say you got 3 districts again of Freetown rural. We never ever get the only 2 we get districts now the western area, mid area, now so we know. Now electoral districts, not districts as we get now. Because district and the province, a particular geography, people in an district and they get similar culture, they get language, commonality. So when you say they can do 3 districts in the western region, waiting at them districts and they. Who say you want to put them? We will get electoral district na Freetown. Now mean 3. We get regents because York na mean cover then Kent, you know, all them places Toke, all one and they electoral district as different from geographical and administrative districts. Mountain districts, when I be Regent, Gloucester, Leicester, and Charlotte. Now so we can call them. Englishman call and Charlotte, Creole call and Charlotte. You understand? They will get the Waterloo side. When I take all them places and they like John Bay, you know, Kerry Town. So now they don't get. So me don't know which are the purpose of them districts and then towns. But how did it come to pan? Before, I don't explain to Lena which we been get, where the which man divide we. We get the Colonial of Freetown, we get a civic and similar English style of governance in terms of a municipality as we get in the UK. They'll get the provinces, when I been the protectorate as colonial administration and traditional rulers. So after we don't fet that was small wordy, we've been getting the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, headed by late Bishop Umpa. So one of the things that we didn't talk about, now for say there was this disconnect between the rulers and the ruled, as I say, especially in the... So now for take government more to the people. So then come out with this Local Government Act 2004. That is the legal basis. The Local Government Act 2004, 9 tell we how government for new districts and towns. We get some people like President can do them because I guess executive powers. No. Waiting the law say, I mean they talk. Then skillfully put under the act, section 2 of the Local Government Act 2004. And it gives the conditions under which the president can designate a place as a district, a chiefdom, or a city. Waiting and then condition in there. And that we'll talk about the deceptiveness of both government. Because APC, when they in Duam, then play with the law. Because then Duam using their own result from the 2015 census. Where after that, then do boundary delimitation. We create new constituency. This government now corrects that system there with the midterm census. So, if we take that according to the law, it says before the president declare a place, either a chiefdom, a district of city, certain conditionalities get to be met. Number one, it get to be based on census data. Right? So the last census we get at the midterm census. So the minister of a member said that midterm census, they let me show people in the trickery. That midterm census, they been doing for correct the 2015 census where they say they're not being agree with. So that midterm census, the enemy for use for do constituency boundaries. But that did not be happen, right? Now make we get the PR system. So if they say they do this new district, then for use that 2015 census data for say, well, the area is justified for law make the district. But before not according to the law, one, they get for consult the ECSL commissioner, then an electoral commission of Shyllon, the commissioner, the Minister of Finance. Why they consult the Minister of Finance? Because now part of this supplementary fund, which we call the Consolidated Revenue Fund, then get for funding district here. Then get for consult, they all engage together and do consultation before the minister now go say, okay, this now me policy background. Then number two, before he can go to president, the president get for establishment of the place, he established the locality, then he get for tell you about the number of persons we go form then chiefdom there or districts. Then also he get for follow that pattern there. Then waiting at the justification. Then talk about population density. And when you talk about population density, it means that the place is also crowded. It don't expand. Sometimes the district the way they now, they're not so small, therefore expand them for create new district. And for do that, then they put the cart before the horse. Before you declare this district, government before don't look at waiting then and then new districts here in terms of social amenities, access to health service, yeah, access to schools, you know, access to other cities of the place. You don't get economic growth. Then we like for also use big words now the law. It talk about geographical contiguity. Look, the word Bokuna Mimotse. What did that mean? It means say you get for look at the district, look at the boundaries. Whether when you alter that boundary, whether you go divide people them, or I go affect that. We already don't see that in Falaba. It talk about the topography. Topography in the structure. Then key important thing, it talk about the future growth and expansion. So then at the district. So all the things here, we don't see them. In fact, if the government been decide first what they should have done for us, then before using 15 census and say, okay, rather than focus on this district we want to bring new district, let we use them and convince the people them for prepare the constituencies them for the next election. Whether they go mean we don't need PR. But now you they talk about whether we for use PR or first past the post as part of the tripartite. We got all things confused. Though you don't go ahead now, create new districts, right? And say without doing constituency boundaries. So I don't know how that they did. But I left us so that we'll talk about the things then for do with cities. The two cities then Freetown and Lungi. So over to you, sir. Like what you had to explain, waiting the law say. The
If I
law
may
said
just
that
add,
the condition,
go ahead.
yeah, the law put the conditions. One, it get for be by data. When I mean data, it means say the present district where they want carve, it don't so full up, it don't bloated. You forget spillover for create new districts.
Yeah.
Number two, how they call them because they don't get a name already. Number three, how it relates to the existing spatial structure of the other chiefdom them. The number of persons in the way they did in terms of density and population in there, and also the presidents where they declare it get for determine the type of administration, the number of people who are in the administration, how much money go for running districts here, and you will get more because we pull districts, you get some of them places and they are doubt if them places and they get a district hospital. And then they will look at access. We talk about accessibility index. We talk about education. Yeah, how many secondary schools? How many primary schools? What is the youth population? Yeah, what should they cater for? The number of comrades we need hospital. So these are all the things we foresee on the debate before we come up with the announcement here. Last stop there, we'll talk about the city. Over to you, sir. Like what they explained the law, waiting in the 2004 Local Government Act, the procedure to be followed, and waiting at the challenges. Then we'll talk about cities now. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Well, again, some of the things like what you mentioned, like an increase in the population of a certain locality, whether there is spillage, if you know that when I want it creates density, we will make something there when I want expand the area. Going back to you mentioned Freetown. I mean, to me, this is insane. I have to use that word, insane. I wonder who are these people where they think here. Now, how do you split a city into two? Because if you split the city into two, then you forget names. So does one of the split one area retain the old name? Then what you will call the other part? Number two, this is how small-minded we are. Freetown, comparatively speaking, to capitals around the world, is very small. We are only talking about 1 point something in population. Lagos, take Lagos in Nigeria. They have almost 30 million people, one city. We don't talk about America, all in place and there. We talk about Africa. And then you see, we get this intellectual laziness. We have to complain about the overpopulation of the area because the city of Freetown was designed for no more than 250 to 280,000 or 270,000 people. So now the city get at least 6 or 7 times the intended population. Instead of we tackle the problem by expanding the infrastructure, water supply, electricity, transportation, and all the amenities there, public parks, what we not even think about. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. We not even have public parks. Then book money here, we can abroad. Who swamping these guys? They're all from the president down. Who side they ever in England or America, we park no day. When we small, we grow up in Freetown, we get one public park. You will have thought by now we would have quadruple that number. What did they do? They turned the public park into a marketplace. How ridiculous, how shameful is that? And these guys want to impress people that they're educated, they're exposed. Well, then he impress people with the left and then villages them back homes, say they know what they're doing, but they don't. I will even go to the extent of saying if you were to take a bunch of 12-year-olds and put them just as a practical matter of an illustration, say, come up with a plan, how for run Freetown, how for, they will come up with, okay, let me put it this way, they will not come out with a plan any less sensible than what you would talk about now. What is the redeeming social values? What are the compulsion for one for turn Lunge to a city? And waiting at the population of Lunge, what infrastructure do we have in place for make Lunge a city? If you split Sierra Leone, because we don't want to intellectually think hard, how for improve quality of life for the people in the Freetown. Instead of that, we want to make cosmetic changes, split the city, and call this one name and call that, which means both cities will just be hopeless. Okay, and then if we change the cities now, so we'll split Freetown into 2. So are we going to start restructuring? How you will call State House Day? How you will call the military barracks day? How you will call? I mean, this is just madness. We will be thinking about how to improve. We'll not get public housing. We'll not get low-income housing. We'll not get things that with the problem with electricity. We'll get problem with public transportation. It's still, so many things. And we are talking about making cosmetic changes that have no substance. And then these people say, cabinet just meet and decide. The law itself is just, like Mr. Mengot said, the Local Government Act give the president that power. Bad law. Then if you want to make such drastic and substantive change, it will be by referendum. The people should participate. The people should be aware. When I for solicit public suggestions and advice and participation. So this to me is all just being contemptuous of the people them in the country when I not care for them. So cabinet, you get 15, 30, how many people in the cabinet and we just decide without any intellectual input and say this is what we want to do. And this is all for political convenience.
I think we have some caller on the line. Lord take we call on them. Lord see which is.
Yeah, thank you for calling me attention to that. Hello, caller. What's your name? Side to call from?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mengot, Mr. Shyllon. That's for Mustafa calling.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming back today again. But me, I would tell when I say, then people here not get no interest or intention for develop the situation or for improve the system. They not get no interest. And in fact, shamelessly, if I can say, they not think. All the problems the witness APC cause, where people are very angry. How did they feel for Fala all and step then? Me, I can understand whose kind guts they get or image, how did they think to themselves. Because this year, APC will go separate Falaba and Karen, who go make form them, would have been very angry. Does that mean, say, when somebody do bad thing, you say for do it makes sense to you? If I for don a gutter, me say you say for follow me for don inside the gutter. How stupid can you be? You can not able to jump the gutter. Then people are not getting no interest for make this country go before they are not intending. And it come back to the system of governance who will get. If this country therefore don't administer this country like we do it when they wake out democracy, they count to we this the same way. Meaning the southern part of the country, we shall people in talk the same language, we shall people and get similar culture and make them then get their own government. When they get their own government, then go hold them accountable. But then people like to do all into there because they know they hold them accountable at the polls. When them pin boxes no, they say no SLB belongs to winner, yeah, no vote for them. The other people in back and the other side, the APC belongs to winner, they vote for them. They are not voting these people because they have done something or they get ideology or they are intending to do something. Then they vote for them no more because these are people where the party they form around this area or they don't accept this party around this area. Now we don't party this. So this is what we are going to continue to have. This nothing not improve. Let me tell you now, even the population within the try for go see then divide. The southern province, particularly apart from Boye district, they all not the population there. So at the end of the day, now look what will happen. Even carrying don't disadvantage Bombali and Poloko Usha and Pulkarine. Because
Of
the two
course.
largest districts in the north then take them then split so them Pulkarine. Now they have been disadvantaged. Bombali get only 8 seats. Bamali for don't get Bamali and Boye the four largest districts them out of Freetown are Boye, Kenima, Bambali and Potloko. They were having almost the same populations. This even in fact now Poloko and them get the largest population. So now when I go pull Karine and almost sit them get now 5 seats there. They don't reduce the seat them at Poloko, they don't reduce the seat them. What sense way it go make to you for go divide Pujong and both districts? Pujong get very few people. Pujong and Bont, and they get the least population. I mean, certain region, and they get the least population of the country. They get 4 districts there, but they get the least population because Pujong and Bont, they not get better people them. And even Moyamba not get better people. But Moyamba, even Cambia pass them. Cambia and Ponadugu, they pass them. So I don't understand who's going to gain out of this apart from more for say we they don't make this, who they don't make district them. These people will not develop that country. Then they not get no interest for develop that country. All of these things they do them, you come to the polls. The only data we will reflect, even this past election we pass, but all that 2022 census we didn't make or 2021, the population of voting population, the one they would register, then try to nothing not change. They even took machine they go look for people for register or maybe match up to the data where they get past census. They're not able to get them people in need. So they are wasting time. They are just people who waste resources. They don't care. They don't care simply because these people are not being held accountable at the polls. Because if not the West now so, where somebody they fear. Look now, just a minute, second more. Labour right now because they so far lost. Now this election will pass. This by election, which is that they happen now. They are reviewing some of their policies. They will not scrap winter fuel subsidy. Then they go ham up handicap, something them disability benefit them. Now they are planning to reverse all this because they have been punished at the polls. But in Salon, this doesn't matter. No matter you don't get something for drink or for eat or drink, you go pin in the pin box now they back in the vote for. Anyway, I will come back later. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa. I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, because that's very keen observation. But let me go to Mr. Mengot. Then down the line, we'll take another call. Mr. Mengot, you have anything you want to add to that?
So what Mr. Mustafa say or in continuation of the program? Because
In
that's very so.
continuation, or both?
Okay.
Both.
Yes, we appreciate Mr. Mustafa in commenting as similar. For me, my concern is in all this, where is our parliamentarians? Let's see the implications and how this will go through. Mickey assure, well, I know assure, I'll tell Shyllon and then say, This announcement where cabinet don't make so, and the process by which they will establish the NTR is already down and dusted, and I will say why. Because now it means then 2 districts here where they create, then can forget paramount chiefs then. That the chiefdom, they can forget paramount chiefdom. We will therefore represent them in the parliament. But notwithstanding, they will get new constituency back. We not define it because the way for defined constituency now by census data. So does that mean the census data we get for the midterm census is no longer useful? It's no longer useful. Though they talk about another census. Now look how they pass their lawyer, and our parliamentarians are blamed fairly and squarely. Because normally, according to the Act, they go pass on to a statutory instrument. What's in a statutory instrument? A statutory instrument is a drafted law which secondary to an original legislation. What do I mean by an original legislation? The first legislation will be the Constitution. So anything way they alter now the Constitution through a statutory instrument, now they make sure they call it constitutional statutory instrument. Again for BC, you go get for justify them with an explanatory note and why. Even like there are way they talk the statutory instrument, the explanatory note way for go with them, again for sure who that then consult, waiting at the reaction of the people that will then consult for change them. Because the people that will then change who side and come out. It just tell like where you then you host. You know, we get some host that we get back door and front door. You front door go then at one treat. Sometimes you back door then at the other treat. Then I can't tell you say now you address na different treats. Sometimes they make you back door, you front door. Then they make you front door, you back door. So now then they happen. So when they don't do this thing now, they get for sure who that they consult. Why they get for consult the people them? Because in our constitution, section 2 of our constitution say, sovereignty belongs to the people. And now from that sovereignty, the way the people them get, now then they legitimize government. Now then give government the power. So let them tell we almost people they don't consult, how long they don't do the consultation, waiting at the people and feelings, you know. Also, waiting at the amenities the way they don't put in place for them new districts here. Lord, not talk about cities. I'll go to the Lunge side later on. But I want to talk about the process. So, statutory instrument, as I say, then go parliament. Then go draft this one, these changes where cabinets don't agree. Then go lay on a parliament as a statutory instrument. And if I get an explanatory note, what's in the purpose of that explanatory note? You get for talk about the objective of the changes. You get for tell we what's in the consultation process, who they consult, how they measure, because when they consult people them, that's another thing. Because if we take with law, even when they talk about appointing electoral commissioner, they say government for consult political parties, yeah? But we don't get that controversy where people say, what's in a consultation? Well, government say, I write to them. Say, all right, say we don't make Mr. X or Madam X commissioner. We don't tell you, that consultation. But we don't ask for your opinion. You not justify to we waiting at the best reason why that was. Now the same way with this consultation. We they say now, the president get forget a town hall meeting in Kenema. Right? I think say something like that 10 they go explain this new process. But when the statutory instrument go through parliament, in parliamentary balance, or the time when they use, then they go lay and down as a paper through the clerk. It is laid before parliament. That's what they say. But for change them, then go read them as a first reading. The people that were opposed to them, get a 2/3 majority. We present parliamentary composition is not possible, which means after 21 days, according to Standing Order number 18, Standing Order are the rules and procedures of Parliament. Number 18, and they deal with how they put then lawyer before Parliament. In 21 days, it becomes law. And I will tell the people and say, we will come back later and challenge me. I will throw out a challenge. When President go do this in town hall meeting, he go talk about this new thing the way they do. Yes, he go tell with people. Then they go lay the paper before Parliament. And it will become law. So now them procedures there, legal instruments and they in a Parliament. Now we get for change. If we not change them, I can tell people them off head the number of times the way they don't use this standing order for change laws them. It start first with where they do Farine, Karine and Falaba, then do a statutory instrument we went through. That are the first term. No changes. The next thing they use the statutory instrument, now we get COVID for declare a public health emergency. Even that at the time, there was no explanatory note because when you do a public health emergency, you get a time where if all day after it, you get for renewal. Now, when the term come for renewal, and that time they ask for explanatory note, that the second time, and the other 10 then the way they use them. They also use this same statutory instrument process for bring down the mean-term census, where at the same thing we give the president power, not under the Constitution, but under the Statistics Act. They use them. Remember where them in go safe outside Parliament where they go lay and down, where it be involved a fist fight. We are with famous clerk. When they tell the leader of the opposition at the time, say, you be wicked person. You be wicked person, you be in a power. So you come back to that do me a do thing. The same statutory instrument, now they use back, this same system was used for one, bringing proportional representation. And how did it go? The time when they put that paper there before Parliament, the opposition, they object. They go court. Right. So because they not been getting majority for either amend or overturn them, by the time the case they go court, it don't become law. And then we legal people and say, they don't work now for interpret the law. They not go overturn any law where Parliament don't make. You know, lawyer, you will likely come into them. They use and attend it. Then right now, then they can't use them for bring this new announcements when are the 2 new districts, the splitting of Freetown, the creation of the Lunge city, where we go up and down there now later on. So this is what I am predicting, and I predict them based on happenstance, things that will be not happen before. This is a bad way for make law in our country. Where you go say, if they're not able to oppose them, it they become law. So now that I get for say for the process. We Parliament need as much reform as we need for reform. We primary law in the Constitution. Over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much again, Mr. Mengot. Here is a procedure. Let's just start off with what a terrible law, what a terrible procedure, what a terrible practice. People then waiting at the executive, then come up with an idea for pass any kind of law. And we know how with Parliament they work. Then consult the speaker. The speaker say, okay, let them present in a Parliament, which you refer to as laying it, and lay in a Parliament. Okay. Then they vote on it. Then let's look how bad the law is. Then when I put the burden for the law for fail on the one that will oppose the law, instead of like something like this where I say call for a referendum, and if people want to know which I refer to as a referendum, we want to add districts where we want to make substantial changes, you know, And it will seem to me that a referendum now where you get the rest of the people then for vote on the idea, for say we agree with we parliamentarians then or with we government, for say this area need 2 districts or 1 more district. That they on the fairest way for do them now by referendum, get the people in for participate, yea or nay, for vote for them during some type of general election. Okay, now, but the people are not participating in it at all. Now, just a handful of so-called educated people then, who belong to the executive, they make a decision. Because these same guys could come back anytime, then say, well, Sierra Leone is not called Sierra Leone anymore. Sierra Leone is called XYZ, because the same procedure can be used for changing the name of the country. So we, the people, will not get any say-so if some 20, 25, in fact, really, if the president feels so, that's Sierra Leone name for be changed. The only difference is then go present them as a cabinet agree on it, where they will agree on because the president, cabinet get for go by the president and dictate. Okay? So whose kind of system down there? When these people are not approaching governance with knowledge and the intelligence required for run a good government. That's not the power you put in the hands of cabinet. That's not the power you put in the hands of the president alone. That's something where parliament for play a very significant role, and the people with a referendum, which then completely bypass either because of lack of knowledge or because of some deceitful motive when this law was made. Connected with that, census. Census should be clearly defined and embedded in our constitution, because it's so casually mentioned that it's not even in the constitution, something as important as census. Then instead of that, then decide to go past an act of parliament, then giving again the president the power that the president can call census anytime he feels, or he can with the consultation of the ECSL commissioner. These are terribly bad laws. These are shallow thinking laws. People are not even putting depth into their thinking here, and they are just carried by the moment that we get power now. Let's make some shabby laws. We'll give you the right, and because we get the power. Let not think about posterity. Let not think about unborn generations. Then let not think about anything. We just make them because it's suit we now within a power. Okay, so because this statistical thing, what they talk about, if for them at the parliament, and census for them not the constitution, we don't have that, and that is not good at all. Then this general belief, which is wrong, that parliament can pass any law and they cannot be overridden, that's not true. If parliament is bound to follow the constitution of the country, so if parliament pass any laws we're not consistent with the process as described by the constitution or the element of anything, any act of the constitution, now bad law, it can be overridden by the court. So we lawyers then even need to be up to speed for understand what constitutional law is all about. So it's ridiculous if then things say the court not get the power for overrule parliament. The court does. When the law where the act where parliament passed, the law where parliament passed is inconsistent with the prescription of the constitution. So you see all the thing there, we get all the wonderful bookman. They just do havoc upon havoc upon havoc on the system, making it impossible for it to be workable, So and then the other thing is, if the lawyers were back home were really, and the opposition was really serious, then can oppose some of the lawyers there, even the lawyer will parliament pass, based upon the painstaking description of Mr. Mengot as to the processes. When parliament pass a law, they not follow the procedure. A party will get standing, usually parliamentarians them of the opposition or the opposition party, they can go to court challenging the legality of that act they will just pass. And it can simply be on the basis that they did not follow procedure. The law can be stricken. It has to be stricken. There's because what good does it do if if the entire parliament say before something become a law, if I go through the process of first reading, second reading, first reading entail bringing it back to parliament, go lay and day for 1 week, then when others decide for bringing a parliament morning term, then in the afternoon I pass them as law. That's unconstitutional. That's illegal. It can be challenged. It should be stricken. It don't matter that the parliament passed the law. Again, you see, for the benefit of a country, I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I know that much. Because I take constitutional law in school will not bring me anywhere close to being a constitutional lawyer. Nothing close. But I know enough. It's just like there's a saying, when they ask one person, I think that a lawyer one time and say, what's the your definition of profanity? You see, I cannot define it, but I know it when I see it. I know bad law when I see it. You see? So all that here, well, lawyers, they need continuing education. They have one of the well-paid, the few that weigh all the power, which in the judiciary and the legal profession of Sierra Leone are making tons of money. But they're not serving the country well. Okay? And this all not to take way anywhere. It's not by accident that not only once upon a time we will suffer from stagnation. Now retrogression will suffer from. We'll go behind. Why everybody has to go forward? So I'm simply saying, if we want for really help with country, let's stop fooling around and playing around and talking about constitutional amendment, this, that. Then we need to take serious steps for correct things. We'll just try to get undue advantage over the other side. Now people are more preoccupied with 2028, asking all kind of questions. Will President Bio leave? Is he not going to leave? Does he want the SFPP for continue for rule? If that's what is important to them, fine. But it will take the country nowhere. I mean, all we have to do now for read about our country. The report on us is not good. We are being called the poorest, even though we are one of the richest in terms of minerals. Look at the United Arab Emirates. Look at Kuwait. These are countries. When the left Sierra Leone, then be in a camel, then in the ride. I mean, come on, who's that with pride there? What's wrong with us? And these guys who say they can get PhD and this, that, they're not even trying for specialize in the areas where they need the specialty for help the country. If you appoint somebody as Minister of Education, let him have some knowledge of education, which is different from having a PhD. Yeah, that makes you an educated person in your field with your PhD. But it not give you no expertise, it not even give you the basic knowledge of how to run education administration. Now that understanding they will not get. Just because you're a lawyer, not necessarily you qualify for draw up a constitution, or that don't make you a constitutional lawyer. But I think that the concept there in the back home. You see? So you get all with big time lawyers then. Going way back to Dr. Abdullah Continent. Then the posture. S.J. Pratt, all the one in there, well-educated, smart people who could have done much more for that country there. Everybody the posture. When the president or the prime minister say, I want to let you write a constitution, again, instead of you say, well, I can put a team together. But me not a constitutional lawyer, you not get that courage there. You say, yeah, I go do it. Then you go, you write something, we're not going to work for the present, not the future. So these are some of the things that people like we complain about. Okay? That if we are serious, and now look at the undertaking when the guy said they want to come back. They're not even getting courtesy for tell the country why they need 2 more districts. And like Fode Mustafa say, Panguma district will take away resources, financial resources, physical resources from Kenema district. Because the major towns there in Kenema district, Kenema itself, Blama, Hanga, and Tongofield, and Panguma, because Panguma was renowned for then sawmill, then they make a lot of wood then they. Okay? But Panguma and Tongofield, they are barely 12 miles apart or 15 miles the most. So where is Tongofield going to be? If you take Tongofield, which I think should associate with Panguma district, Kenema district is going to lose a whole lot in terms of financial resources. Because Tongofield now a vital area for diamonds. So I don't know what these guys are thinking, but it's so unfair to the country. To me, it's just not even worth talking about because it's annoying. Back to you, Mr. Mengot.
This for continue the program. Syndrome, we get beaucoup picking them. Because one of the things that when they say, while I deal with that, particular, now, Lunge for be a new city. They say Lunge for be a new city. Not only first and this with the area, but we can't talk, but I'm using an example because we remember when they make the noise about all these airports. The brand new airport, so man saying a brand. I just come on. So in case we listeners then they know, I have an affinity with Lunge because Lunge has started me transport career, and I know about that place then Lunge, how it starts because Lunge na be a small rural area of Putloko. Outside the present day airport day, now in the village. So when they want to build the airport, now they move the people and go further. Now a place now where they get that name there because of what happened, where they call that village, they call it Tintefor. Tintefor na Timini Road, in Timini Amfor na Yai. You Yai. And Tintefor na for change Yai. Where if you want to take them, in the English set na new site. So the village na new site. So that area there, now they make that the airport. So they come and tell we say, oh well, then they bring a new airport, but coupled with that airport there, they want to make Lunge a commercial hub. They want to build new bridges. The new Lunge bridge must talk about. They want to make an IT center, all that thing. So in other words, some of them things and the way they've been proposed. Therefore, don't they in place before they declare Lunge as a city. And from the aviation point of view and my planning understanding, in any airport, you get a flight path. Waiting at the flight path. Now the place where the plane they fly over for land na the airport. So the way we runway configure, you get two ends of the runway according to the Jamboria. You get the approach by the sea, where that Maera end, because Maera and the work in the go, and that makes sure they can through Maera, we then both them. Where then they call down the runway 1-2. Then you get the one by the Putloko end, when at the new entrance for going to the airport, when I runway 30. But just where the roadway they approach for going to the airport is an eyesore. There are so many buildings that we don't did it and everything, and then in a flight path. So there's no way they should have allowed those buildings in the area. What you do? Because if plane they come for glide, for go ride that runway, if you miss the runway or you miss the approach, it go crash land. Okay, so many people there will go get involved, properties and lives go lost. So that in my own view. So a place where you make city, there's no planning control or land use or transportation planning first. But now look at the bridge. What let me say the one bring. We 30 they will not everybody bridge. But once show one video them for fumble them, how another country, because that bridge them it tells you that 2 billion they reduce it to 1.6 billion. Where another country in Africa build their own bridge and we see what's in the purpose for that bridge there. And now use that as an example for critique the Lunge Bridge and development of Lunge as a city. So now play the video, let people listen. Then I will let you comment before we continue.
The State Department sent a cable saying the administration is instructing all U.S. missions and consulates to...
Controller, can you play the video for this bridge where they build in Tanzania for we?
Applicants looking to travel to Harvard. Joining me now...
Tanzania has completed the construction of East and Central Africa's longest bridge. Unlike many mega projects globally, the Magufuli Bridge, named after the country's late president John Pombe Magufuli, was built without borrowing infrastructure loans. Tanzania's Works Minister Abdallah Ulega recently said the bridge's construction is proof of our nation's ability to mobilize domestic resources towards transformative development. The Magufuli Bridge is a major transit over Lake Victoria in Tanzania's northwestern region of Mwanza. The 700 billion Tanzanian shilling project, which stretches 3.2 kilometers, links Kigongo to Busisi areas, which were previously connected using ferry services. The construction amount is equivalent to approximately $270 million. The new bridge would be the 7th longest bridge in Africa, behind 2 bridges in Egypt, 1 in Nigeria, 2 in Mozambique, and 1 in Morocco. The Magufuli Bridge, whose construction started in December 2019, was scheduled for completion in December 2024, but it was finalized ahead of schedule in October 2024. When President Samia Suluhu Hassan succeeded Magufuli upon Magufuli's death in March 2021, the bridge's construction progress was at 25%. The facility, which can handle up to 12,000 vehicles daily, has a dual carriageway with a width of 7 meters each, and it also has emergency lanes. The Magufuli Bridge also has pedestrian walkways on either side, each measuring 2.5 meters in width. Previously, when commuters relied on ferry services linking Kigongo to Busisi areas, a maximum of 1,600 vehicles could be transported daily and travel time was longer. The Magufuli Bridge, which is scheduled for official launch on June 19, 2025, has reduced that trip to a few minutes. The project was built by Chinese engineers in collaboration with Tanzanian engineers. The bridge is expected to deepen Tanzania's regional trade links with Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Again, now this bridge serves as, it speaks for itself. The construction of and the development of say many things. Number one, they not go get loan. They use the new financial resources, because you had someone when a head of government would decide to say we don't need funding from outside for doing. Okay. Then number two, it involves local engineers of Tanzania universities and polytechnics and colleges in collaboration with the Chinese for doing. We bring about tremendous, by the time they finish that bridge day, you will talk about people would all get so much experience that they may not need the Chinese the next time for building a major bridge. Thirdly, we see like how we get Nasalon, where we get difficulty to this day with ferry, and it broke down midway from Tagrin to Lunge. You see, then self then beget ferries then when I them in the use before. you know, and then see, so there's so much to be learned. I mean, so it's all a matter of how one help yourself. We were projecting for spend 2 billion going to debt or whatever for build a bridge. This Tanzanian bridge they sustain 12,000 vehicles a day. I don't know in we own setting where we will have had even 1,000 vehicles a day between Lunge and Freetown. Okay, but 12,000 vehicles a day. Then with dual pathway, pedestrian walkway, all of that. And then it links Tanzania to not only neighboring countries like Uganda, Kenya, all them places, but now it also it facilitates transportation between some of the Central African countries like Rwanda and Democratic Republic of the Congo. You see, these are things where they would team with power. These are things where we get the ability for do. But again, we refuse to do that. Instead of we engage in some serious undertakings, we talk for make villages to cities, splitting township into 2 towns. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is unseriousness. That's all I can say. You know, and it doesn't help the country. Nobody benefits from this. You know, that cannot be. These kinds of move would make Australian. We cannot say they are aspirational. How? Because this is a journey to nowhere. They're undertakings there. You know, if we were going to
Yeah,
spend
given
2 billion,
the time, I think so. We'll get one call on the line. Log give the chance. Then after that, I can see whether you can continue or me give me.
no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just reading the comment. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from? There's let me. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from? While we're trying to get the caller. Okay, while we're trying to get a caller, let me just read a comment. I don't quite understand it, but we'll take it for what that's okay. That's okay. We'll take it for what it is. Nobody will question the chief electoral because there was a bylaw that can back him. Well, I'm not going to touch that. Okay, because that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about electoral commission. I think this person is not even keeping up with what we're talking about. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from?
Yeah, I'm a concerned citizen. I call from the United States.
Yes, welcome. Go ahead.
Well, I just joined the program. I just get 2 questions for us because
yes, sir.
I just come across they talk about the Lunge Airport and the 2 runway landing, not landing the one side will cause problem in future because of the building where people are not put. But my own question I want because before me left alone come America, yeah, long since because I make to understand say the Chinese now then build U building, now then build with stadium. I think they will not get much sense. Then say the agreement, I don't know if not Diamond they give them for that. I don't know. So I believe China now will big one them. And at one point, they tell Sheki say, then go build the bridge from Lunge to Chagrin. But waiting there under the water, then go get some. I don't know what's the agreement. But Sheki been denying that. I don't know if you not get the idea because I won't get that explanation there. And at one point again, they say we get a link of oil. We go through Nigeria. And if we start for drill we own, it will affect them. I don't know if that is true. So they ask them question and if you're not able to give you some idea on that while in the talk about this bridge issue. Thank you.
Mr. Mengot step into it. The bridge now in the context or the landing of the Lunge and the runways, in the broader context of way back, they don't allow people to build houses in the past years. Now the pathway of the plains then will make it, in fact, harder, I'm not going to say impossible, but difficult for, in fact, if now be planned out and they for add more, expand the airport and do something better, then don't allow people then for go build, because Mr. Mengot we say, a two-way they approach the airport, from the sea, or go be the Mehera part, or from the Potloko district part, the land part. Around the land part, people are not going to build houses them, now the flight path. So in case there is a crash, a lot of people are going to perish, whether billows along that path there. And that Mr. Mengot be the talk about in terms of this runway. So that's to make you understand, since you catch we halfway, you know. As far as the other questions the way you ask, I don't know. I don't have an answer to it. I know what kind of agreement be there between President Stevens and the Chinese them. So I wish I can help, but I have no idea. But I can ask my colleague, Santende, he go shed some light on it. Before you take over, Mr. Mengot, let me just read a comment. So Peter Dowda, when the APC government implemented a bad policy, the useless SLPP government so should do the same. You must be a fool. Well, okay. Maybe Mr. Mengot, you can. Then I see another one. So Mr. Kabo, how is it different from the APC one-party system, which I think people don't get the point. This is the point we are making. APC did all this rubbish. Now that make when I kick them out, when I accuse them, including the current government, say all these acts were bad. So this persuaded, I said, the question. I mean, that's why they were kicked out, because the public was fully aware that APC wasn't doing right. They were not living to them up to them promises. But when SLPP come, instead of them preach which them to practice, they worsen the situation. And then some of them they do and say, well, APC do and so who's have to do it. So the question is, if that's the case, why were you complaining where APC to do it? If wrong is wrong, bad is bad, it's just a matter of you saying, oh, you don't do enough bad. Move, let me second do my own bad. Is that the point? So whoever, somebody gets to come and say, Mr. Kabo, how is it different from APC one-party system which they implemented? Nobody was saying the APC one-party system was good. That we're condemning both. We're saying we have to be innovative. We have to be smarter. We have to love the country better. We have to stop playing this tit for tat and selfish and selfishness among we. Wait now for we self with the thing. That's the point we're making here. You know. So nobody's justifying. And somebody said earlier, said 2 wrongs don't make it right. But I mean, what's the point if you go replace a bad government, which another one will go do worse? So what is the point you're making? That you just get a right to do bad? That's it? So then I think
we'll get a caller. We'll get a caller. After the caller, then I go answer 2 questions. The first caller will be asked Boye Luge Bridge. And this postway, they continuously they say the districts of Pangoma and Badadruma existed in 1898 under the British colonial rule. I go answer, I will get a reference. All I go say to them, I mentioned at the beginning of the program, this Act 1860, the Ordinance. Let go there, there's a schedule. And if you look at the amendment, there's a schedule which show all the chiefdom. So when people and they make them comment here, let them back and by factual evidence, because that's what I do. So anyway, let's listen to the caller, then I will comment on that. Man, we talk about which in the under the water and the oil. There's a caller out there.
All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? I'm sorry to call from.
Yes, Mr. Shyllon, Mr. Mengot, I call from the Dominican Republic. This is not Alpha Sise.
Yes, Mr. Sisi, welcome.
Yes, I just listened to now about the bridge we they construct Tanzania, or the Chinese and the Tanzanian engineers. The problem what we get in a salon, we me begin to figure out. So yeah, well, government then get problem, but the individuals them whether they work under the government or whether not contract they give them, not the problem. Where they be they build Arlington Bridge. Me, who's in day, and there they see trucks of iron rod. They can't net. We engineer them where they work with the Chinese. Well, I don't know if my engineer they will just work. The way how iron rod and sit that bridge. So thank yourself for no venture for trying to build this bridge. Because before them for Donham, almost 200-300 people that go don't build houses from that chap when they chop iron ore or whatever deal from that region. So the problem will be nationally. It's that the people that work the individual engineers. No engineer no they national no contractor no they national we not the thief or we not they do illegal activity with construction. Whether not private individual they give them or government. This is a big problem nationally. With people they know they give the government chance at all. Then Tanzania, then Senegal. Then guys, they are not saying they're 100% honest, but most of the time, they really care about the country for make sure things they do. But Sierra Leone, we people them, whether an engineers, contractor, plumber, whatever it is, they are all thieves, all of them. I rest my case today when I think.
So because we get people that we don't...
Me only answer I go answer this last caller. I will be a bit parochial here. Because in Sierra Leone, we get the Sierra Leone Institute of Engineers, of which I'm a member. So it will be a miss for me for let somebody can say all we engineers are thieves. Now a disclaimer, me as an engineer registered in Sierra Leone and a presenter on this program, I don't think say I subscribe to that blanket description of professionals. Because in every country, we get the good, the bad, and the ugly. We get honest people, right? And we been get engineers that will build bridge in a tongue. Remember the Wadi Williams, you know? Even that Tengbe Town Bridge, it was built by Sierra Leone engineers. Even this bridge self, where they don't change self. Get a name. Originally, the way they call by Shebra, what's in my name? It was originally built by Sierra Leonean engineers. So that's not the only point for our
What about the Aberdeen Bridge? What about the Aberdeen Bridge?
Yeah, the Aberdeen Bridge. Yeah. That bridge where we've been going back talking to Freetown say they say wait say now make sure Aberdeen no get bridge. But we wait say at least before you we get Aberdeen Bridge. And let's talk about that bridge there because you see the changes we bring because before for approach Lumley Bridge, you get to go all the way around to Lumley. Now through that Aberdeen connection there, the beach is now really being utilized by a large population of Sierra Leone. So this is what bridge bring come and the things them. So for that caller we've been talk, myself Naya, I know ever that thing about waiting there under the water where the Shakibin say let the Chinese and get time for build bridge. You know, Shaka Stephen in time we've been getting a lot of speculation, rumors, and everything. As far as oil discovery is concerned, I know say there's a time where they may not do geological surveys them, and under an Escoma government, we know say they may get some people there where they may get license for speculate for oil. Whether they will affect the Nigeria thing or not, I don't know. But let's comment one side. Let's use comparative comment on this bridge. Let's give figure, right? And I will shock people then. Because me, I believe in my profession, I believe in producing facts. Now look in parallel. The Mangifuli Bridge cost $270 million. No, that's what the reporter say.
Yes.
Right? That is the same price as the Lunge terminal. Or call it terminal because we know we call it airport. and I go justify which you no call a new airport because now the same runway that they use, they only expand the taxiway, then bring new control tower. We get a report say even the people in today they not re-equipped tower. So me go call a new transit terminal. So if you look at the cost, 270 million each. The bridge in Tanzania, the bridge in Lunge, the airport in Lunge. Only have two different structures, but it's the same money. How come Tanzania were able to raise 270 million domestically for building with technical know-how, not for lent money from them all? Look, we now, the Chinese then build building, then build stadium. If you went lift well and you build, you have to go call the Chinese them back. And then they do it for free. Even the stadium, the Chinese then still bring them back to scratch. Now we have this escape stadium now Liberia for play with own match. So you can see the different approach. One country use their own resources, but then bring expertise from outside and they own them. Now, what shocked me, I do a research for justify this Lunge airport because when you talk about city, it will be an economic hub. The only two way Lunge get at this airport. So we don't spend this 270 million for the airport. No, then a 30-year debt to the pay from the Turkish people. 270 million. Now, we they pay because we go observe them. You pay $25 airport tax in and out. So a check report from the Civil Aviation Authority with passenger throughput. What I mean by passenger throughput? The passenger the way they go in and out of Lunge for a whole year. The latest figure where they say an increase now 287,000. You in America, think about so airport they get that traffic day in a month. Now when they get the whole year, then will they justify 30-year debt for 270 million. But let me give you the other shocking figure. The other thing where I find out. If you times that 287,000 by the $25, what would they pay? It's roughly $6.2 million every year. And let me see the two-year surprise man. That's $6.2 million, not to government revenue. We get people that will subcontract out from services when a security poor, where now then they provide security at the airport, which is basically CCTV, scanning machines, them, and one time they get sniffer dogs who are good. And when you go pay that money, they pay the money to a bank at the airport. And that bank they say that money they go directly to security port. Now this same government will tell we say all payments for go through the consolidated revenue fund. But here we are, we paid out $25 in cash. It go to an account which is controlled by a service provider. So other than this service provider, which in the unique service way they provide, we will need them. If we would go get people that will pay back for check with passport when a Westminster security. In fact, this year ago, the man will check my passport. I left there in the last 3 years. When he look me picture, he said, "Pa, you face no fatu." Then I was trying to say, remember me the last time we were good. So look at it, 6 million. It goes to an account controlled by the service provider. Nobody knows the auditor. And the interesting thing about it, the Minister of Transport was on record to say that agreement was an agreement between the Minister of Internal Affairs and Security Port. Yes, Internal Affairs that they get security. But how come one minister will go sign agreement for letting they pay money to a service provider? They tell you, say, hey, well, not to me business, and the Minister of Internal Affairs, nine signer. $6 million every year. That is my food for thought. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. And if it could be any consolation to the gentleman we call, where in point about when them they build the Allentown Bridge, waiting you observe, I not dispute that. I not even dispute for say we get we on fault as people. Where it go way back to we upbringing in terms of integrity, honesty, dedication, loyalty. You can ever begin to embed that in people when they're young. Loyalty to a country, pride, integrity, you know, we mean trust. People and for trust you. But not to, we not to teach that now most of we homes, now we community, now we schools. So as we get older, the propensity, the driving force is everybody want to live the good life. So then they find the shortcut approach will lead to all then dishonest practices there. But dishonesty in order in our DNA, in our social construct, not the society in which we're born. So that can be taken care of. It's like a way, just like when you join army. I mean, when you go into the army, you become a changed person because then get regiments, then get discipline. You know, you're being commanded, you're not being asked or requested. And people change. If we have a system that's in place, you don't have to worry about engineers. First of all, you say engineers, but it may involve more than engineers if there was any such practices as stealing iron rods and selling them to private enterprises, because it happens all across the board. So, but even if that was taken, that's why law enforcement is there. That's why when you straighten out the system, instead of internal affairs minister, they go sign agreement with a Turkish company, how money within the $25 security fee not to go to the government, it go to that company there, where by implication, that company they get the right for dispose of then $25 and they would pay what Mr. Mengot say translate into $6 million a year. Well, under good administrative policy, that should not even be. It shouldn't be the Minister of Internal Affairs signing a separate agreement with a company where they can't provide security in our airports. If we are serious, that company they will not only get them for teach young people them how for conduct and that same security service day, because that lead to employment, it lead to more tax revenue and something. But if this will be any consolation for certain a part of a pattern and practice, the Aberdeen Bridge, where I refer to, when it was built, it was built in Stevens era. People saw the corruption. Okay, what happened? Jamil Said, who was a diamond dealer and then became so involved in governmental affairs, the contract to build that bridge there, I think, was given to him. He just formed a construction company on paper. Then again, the contract, then in subcontract to J Matter. Well, I was in Boye for 10 years. J Matter was a major employer, Nabo. And J Matter, these were Lebanese guys, and they were I think they were major employers. They were into everything, and they were very well educated, these guys. All of them went to CKC, the Matter brothers, I think about at least 3 of them. They get grade 1, they were smart, and they run a very successful business. But with bad politics, Matter now get for begin even connive with Jamil Said, we're not getting no expertise for build a bridge in Aberdeen. So that Aberdeen bridge, they cost way more because of the way they award the contract. They gear to a person who not get an engineering, who not get a construction company for build bridges, who subcontracted to J Matter. And J Matter themselves, they began into construction, but not be different kind of construction, not to bridge construction. But so if that's any consolation, that practice can be stopped. That's why you have police That's why you have undercover activities. That's what you have security cameras. There are a lot of things. We're not that helpless. Even sometimes when I consider when they talk about the chief transformers. I ask myself, say, how is it happening? The government knows that people and get propensity for children today. We not to secure them in such a way that we're not able to catch people away the ground. These people who come and steal these things, supposedly stealing them, seem to succeed every time it happens. And then the mentality what we get away with to say, oh, people on the ground for embarrass the government. But if the government know that, why you not take affirmative action for prevent that and prosecute strictly people who are caught doing it? You see? So I just say, if not any consolation, that in and of itself, the gentleman will call, because by implication, it seems like they say, since that's so people in town, so waiting for do. No build, no give them job, no give engineer them the job. So waiting for do not give laborers a job. That cannot be the answer. The answer is, well, for be able for do that, build the bridge, and put security in some infrastructures in place so we'll be able to do that. That's all I get for say. So we cannot just take the easy way out. Every time when things don't work, we say, oh well, people in the chief too much. But yeah, people are not that different worldwide. China, you know what's going to happen with you when you chief government property. A minister know what's going to happen with him when he get overseas expense. So now matter of which we take how we want to run the country and which how we see government. Whether government a place for go get gentry, whether government a place where for serve the people, and national pride for be the driving force for make you country better than it will be where you meet when you come. I mean, so it's a matter of orientation and vision. So, but I don't share the idea that because we thief, and the UU building same way the toxic Chinese people and build. Now, I don't know how many of another area that saying there, and it may just be a saying. They say when they build Chinese building, then the China man then because they don't know Creole that much, then say the Chinese man they talk about the thief where they take business salon. So say the Chinese man say Nigeria thief, Ghana thief, Sierra Leone thief. So we always get that propensity there, but that can be stopped. You could do undercover operation under 1 or 2 times. It could bring an end to all that corruption that we talk about. Not just for say corruption is something we can't deal with. We can deal with it if we want to. But when you get people at the top, where they set the process in motion for that to happen, like what recently we get this drug trafficking, we become scandalous. Where you get an ambassador at the top, they make people at the low end, the transport thing in the name. Come on. You just can't say we people them. That's so the entire. No. Now we lead us them. Put the blame where it belongs. That's all I have to say for that purpose. Mr. Mengot,
Family, I tell you, thank you very much for the one that we don't listen. And I know say we technical man try his best to bring some of the comments them from we social media platform. And what I get for say, we can see from the comments, say people and they interact among themselves, which means in the debates which they talk very instantly. But one thing we're common, whether you're silent in the diaspora at home, all they begin look at say, if this be don't do, this one do, it justify. Just like Damawe can say, well, Panguma and Bandajuma may not be districts under 1898. Yeah. And one comment, the APC and SLPP tit for tat madness must cease. Sierra Leoneans need to create a third equally powerful political force in order to rid themselves of the stranglehold these two have had on the country. We have always said that, but that could be for another day, because as we look forward to this meeting where they begin at Moyamba, when I did announce the local government's man, I can't tell we but then new district here, and we minister tell we say the president, they get a town hall meeting in Kenema. We hope say we will able to listen to what they say because there's a lot of political challenges, things to deal with the census, things to deal with the tripartite agreement, things to do with transportation and we will continue for monitor the social media platform and try for engaging her for see how we go make Salon better. From and I all get a fruitful week. And go to school or you go hospital because road safety is a serious concern in our country. I will therefore deal with that transport system, both air, rail, and sea, because we don't get a rail commissioner now. Why is that important? Adjust us as usual. We'll continue for interact with you. Anybody we get a lily penny line of forget, but we and low help the needy. That's all we can do. And also let people then download the app. Then go able listen with radio and a tongue so we get local content. And me from sunny Surrey, and they say tata.
Also from here, from the United States, I say good night, good evening to una all. So we appreciate una listening, we appreciate una participation. We look forward for a meeting again on the air next week. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
osdiaspora.org. In the heart of Sierra Leone, where dreams often struggle to find wings, one young man dared to hope. This is John Sitta. Born into a humble family where even putting food on the table was a daily challenge, education seemed like a distant dream.
Good afternoon and welcome to Voice of Salon Radio.
Good afternoon to the listeners.
Yeah, so what's your name?
My name is Ibrahim, sir. Ibrahim Pedal.
Ibrahim Pedal, what is Kamara. You understand say everybody people come first in the whole country?
Yes, I'm a Pikin. Okay. Actually, they talk to you now, so we born the Pikin. Now, attire the cell. Now, empty attire the cell. I no gets. And launch na 10,000 a year every day. At times we meet up at the biggest one and when we eat, they can get 10,000. Not all the time. It is strain. At the constraint, at the up to 14 years, work no day.
John had a fire in his heart and brilliance in his mind. But brilliance without opportunity often fades into silence. His parents believed in him, but with an annual family income of less than $1,000, they couldn't afford to keep John in school. Then came the VOS Diaspora Helping Hands Scholarship Program, a beacon of hope for underprivileged, talented students like John.
Take the first position during my WAS examination.
And what are the mechanisms have you put in place for you to become first again for WAS?
I should be studying very hard and hardworking in class.
So what do you want to tell others that are unfortunate to come first in the Becker process?
Okay, my advice to my colleague students is that success do not come overnight. They have to study and get prepared for any task overhead.
All right, thank you very much. This is VOS, Voice of Salon Radio.
Today, John is not just a student. He's a leader, a mentor, and a beacon of hope for his community. With your support, VOS Diaspora Helping Hands empowers students like John from humble beginnings to reach for the stars. Together we can transform more lives. Together we can change the story. Join us today. Sponsor a dream. Shape the future. Scan the QR code to donate or visit our website at www.vosdiaspora.org.